The book of Genesis, the opening chapter of the Bible, is far more than a simple account of creation. It's a rich tapestry woven with symbolic narratives, profound theological truths, and veiled hints about the complex relationship between humanity and the divine. Within its ancient words lie secrets waiting to be unearthed, offering insights into the nature of existence, the origins of sin, the promise of redemption, and the enduring struggle between good and evil. The divine blueprint, creation and the image of God. Genesis begins with a powerful declaration. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. This simple statement establishes God as the ultimate source of all creation, the architect of the universe. The act of creation itself is portrayed as a deliberate and purposeful act, not a random event. God speaks, and light, sky, land, sea, and all living creatures come into being. Central to this creation narrative is the creation of humanity. Genesis 1:27 states, "So God created mankind in his own image. In the image of God he created them. Male and female he created them." This concept of being created in the image of God is fundamental. It suggests that humans possess unique qualities that reflect God's own nature. These qualities might include intellect, creativity, the capacity for love and relationship, free will, and a spiritual dimension. This divine imprint bestows inherent dignity and value upon every human life, regardless of race, gender, or social status. It also implies a responsibility to live in a way that reflects the divine image within us. The fall from grace, sin, knowledge, and consequence. The idyllic picture of creation is soon disrupted by the story of Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. God places them in a paradise, granting them dominion over all living things, but with one prohibition. They are not to eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. This tree represents the allure of autonomy, the temptation to define right and wrong for ourselves, independent of God. The serpent, a symbol of temptation and deception, convinces Eve to eat from the forbidden fruit, and she, in turn, gives it to Adam. Their act of disobedience, often referred to as the fall, has profound consequences. They gain knowledge, but it is a knowledge tinged with shame and guilt. They become aware of their nakedness, a symbol of their vulnerability and separation from God. Sin enters the world, fracturing their relationship with God, with each other, and with the natural world. The consequences of their choice include pain in childbirth, toil in working the land, and ultimately, death. The story of the fall is not simply a historical account. It's a timeless allegory for the human condition. It illustrates the ongoing struggle with temptation, the allure of self-determination, and the devastating consequences of choosing our own way over God's. It reveals the inherent human tendency to prioritize our desires over obedience and the pain that inevitably follows. A glimmer of hope, the promise of redemption. Even in the face of human failure, Genesis offers a glimmer of hope. In Genesis 3:15, God speaks to the serpent saying, "And I will put enmity between you and the woman, and between your offspring and hers. He will strike your head, and you will strike his heel." This verse, known as the Proto-Evangelium, the first gospel, is often interpreted as a prophecy of the coming Messiah, a descendant of Eve who would ultimately defeat the serpent, representing evil, and restore humanity's relationship with God. This promise of redemption is woven throughout the rest of the Old Testament, culminating in the person and work of Jesus Christ. The covenant and the chosen people, Abraham and the promised land. Genesis also introduces the concept of covenant, a sacred agreement between God and humanity. God's covenant with Abraham is a pivotal moment in salvation history. God promises to make Abraham's descendants a great nation, to bless them, and to make them a blessing to all the nations of the earth. This covenant establishes the foundation for God's relationship with Israel, the chosen people, and points towards the future coming of the Messiah, who would fulfill God's promises to Abraham and bring salvation to all who believe. The story of Abraham is a testament to faith and obedience. Abraham leaves his homeland and journeys to an unknown land, trusting in God's promises. He faces numerous trials and challenges, but his faith remains steadfast. His willingness to sacrifice his son Isaac, a test of his devotion, foreshadows the ultimate sacrifice of Jesus Christ, who offered himself as a sacrifice for the sins of the world. The human drama, family, betrayal, and forgiveness. The latter part of Genesis focuses on the stories of the patriarchs, Isaac, Jacob, and Joseph.